How's it going, everyone? Steve with Virtual Piano Studio here. I just got an email from a student saying that they just completed their project, and I just took a look at it, and I was just so excited because uh, there's so many things, so much background here to preface. I'll try to make it short. This is an older adult student that started with me 9, 10 years ago. When she started, she was just a beginner. And over the years, we've developed a friendship, and she's been very tenacious with practicing and hardworking, and she's developed into a good piano player and also just a good musician. And we've gone a lot of different routes too, from classical study to an emphasis on ear training to working on blues, and so kind of made the rounds in a lot of different styles of music and focuses. Well, now we are focused on transcription, and that got me super excited when she wanted to do this because I love teaching how to transcribe music by ear. Anyways, we started from the beginning with this. She knows all of her keys, her scales, her even different modes, different sounds. She knows all of her chords for the most part, to be able to really transcribe the majority of popular music styles. So I want to first show you what she just finished up before we started this current project. And so for about a month and a half, we worked on the Freebird piano solo, and that was a lot of fun. And this is her kind of final version of that. So I went through the different stages of this. We worked on rhythm. We focused on rhythm first. Let's see if I have any notes of that to transcription here. Kind of going back. So she did an analysis of it, and she sent it to me. So this was pretty cool. She's always proactive with writing notes and listening to our lessons and giving, making sure she understands everything. And then, so we went through this kind of step-by-step process each week, working sections and outlining chord tones with what she's hearing in the music and all of that. But anyways, so the final form of that, about 6, 7 weeks later, was the actual piano solo from the live recording that if you listen to Freebird, it's the most popular version. I don't even think I have the final version here because there was octaves at the end here. So anyways, that was our last project. Now, I was like, what do you want to work on next? She's like, I want to do Metallica. Nothing else matters. I was like, whoa, okay, let's do it. So we spent a whole lesson just listening to it and kind of going through an approach. What do you want to do with this? She was like, well, I want to be able to play at the piano. I was like, okay, you want to play melody? She was like, yes. Like, do you want to play all the other kind of cool stuff that's happening in the song? She was like, yes. But I also described to her we need to make sure it's playable. Think about pop music and transcribing and then arranging that. You have to develop a special skill set for that. Because as we know, as music teachers, there's a lot of bad arrangements of pop music out there. All right, another really cool thing that she did was she sent me a Pages file. It's like Word, but for Mac. Have all of our notes from our lessons. Detailed notes. She went back and observed everything. And she even attached images from my annotations and audio files as well from the recording. I'll show that to you. This was wild. I was like, man, you should be a teacher. This was just so great. All of her notes from this lesson. Here's the audio file that she attached. And this is for her own self, but she wanted to show me, how much work she put into this. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. And one of my Tony Parla Piano, calling you out, man. I sent this to him, and he was like, "Well, man, she's already mapped this whole process out for you." I was like, "That's a good point." So yeah, here we go. more examples. This is just so awesome. Just kind of seeing this together. So yeah, step one was we listened to it, listened to the form, and I'll show you what she sent me. This is all she did initially, is just writing out the lyrics and then the pitches to those notes on certain, actually these are just chords. She figured out the chords to the entire song, and then where the downbeats are, where the chords are placed, on beat 1 or like beat 3 sometimes. So that's all we did there. All right. Now, so this is the very, very first step. The next step was she sent me this. She outlined the music transcription process by going back and listening to our lessons, and then putting together her own outline. I didn't do this for her. She did this herself and sent me, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is great. You got all this from our lessons? I was like, awesome. So she sent me that, and then we started working on going from kind of the beginning stages all the way to a final product. So I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly here. This is kind of what we started with. She sent me this, and in the next lesson, then I would work with her on things. So we added. I make sure let's add more form names here. Let's add the chords in this section, and so. She also included all the counters, which is great for reference. She has all of this stuff in Amazing Slowdowner too, so she can go to all these points and loop sections and all of that. So, anyways, this was kind of like the first lesson after she went through initially, kind of dictating the rhythm mostly, figuring out the rhythm and getting the form. Not even figuring out the rhythm, the melody yet. Just kind of hearing the rhythm all the way through the song and playing the melody as best she could without writing out the rhythm quite yet. So next step was we kind of took the intro that was pretty basic, so she figured out how to transfer that to piano. All right, so just a kind of an evolution there. And then we talked about, let's go ahead and work on patterns in the left hand. And she's very familiar with left hand patterns, so we went ahead and inserted some patterns there. And so that was 1 week of her doing that. And then she wrote out the notes of the melody, not with rhythm yet. Okay. And then, Then next step here, let's see here. Oh, yeah. So she blocked out chords every beat. We talked about how important that is to know what your chords are and how to block it underneath the melody, or even if there's not a melody there, know what area you're going to kind of provide chord tones to kind of thicken up the arrangement. And then she went ahead and started to combining the rhythm with the pitches that week. So that was a hardcore week of her listening and working on rhythmic dictation. And then she started adding lyrics in there, and then it's just we keep going. Started adding a little other licks, other parts of the instrumental parts in there, and then starting combining the chords with the melodies. She's doing all of this in MuseScore. She's figured it out all herself. And now we're getting the score a little bit more organized, and it's coming into fuller form, but we still have some things to work on, and she's starting to work on the guitar solo and adapting that to the piano. There's 2 guitar solos, actually. Then we start adding some dynamics and talk about shaping and how she wants to do that. So I told her, listen to the music and then adapt it to the piano the way you would like to. And then we start getting into the so this is the second guitar solo. This is the electric guitar solo towards the end, and we just put chords in there. We didn't know if we wanted to transcribe that yet. Now we're getting into starting to get to a finished product. And so there's just some little things in here that, that she missed, but we're going to build a roadmap in there because we don't want a 7-page score. We want to make it 3 to 4 pages. So we're going to take out some of those unneeded verses and use a repeat or use the DS. And then we get closer and closer. And then here we're talking about you only have 2 systems on this page. Where's the rest? So we talk about getting it to where when someone else plays through this, everything's nice and organized. You have a nice even amount of systems on there. She ran into some problems with spacing, and she figured out how to do it. And then this is the final form. She's going and adding finger numbers in there, labeled the guitar solo, and we have our DS coda back to the verse, and then through the chorus, and then it jumps to the guitar solo 2. This is not the final form. This is second to last. We're doing all of this online lessons. And then we have our last verse and our last chorus there. And here is the final form. Now, this I would purchase for a student if it was on musicnotes.com. I certainly would. It has all the elements that you need, and it's easily modified. Okay? It's very playable. Everything is very, all details are covered here. I was just so happy, so pleased about this.